Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate you putting forth the effort. Subscribers, viewers, thank you so much. How dangerous is it for you in the Philippines? And let's skip the shooting incidents that have happened recently. Let's just talk about getting from here to there. That's right. The trikes, the jeepneys, the PUVs, the buses, are they dangerous? And you're going to be surprised at what just happened last week. I put off making this video because basically I wanted to be careful about how I phrased things. But more so, in the end, you're going to be really surprised because the reactions from Filipinos about the news. So let's get started.
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay. Now, what we're going to do here is, first off, we're going to kind of preface this right before Holy Week. Holy Week is a big deal here in the Philippines. And because of that, there's a lot of travel. And the major method of travel is by bus, by jeepney, by trike. All right, you go everywhere, anywhere you get around. I will tell you right now, I avoid as much as I can any of those forms of transportation. That's not to say I haven't done it. I've done it many times. I take a trike several times a week, but I never take them anywhere across major thoroughfares. All right? I just don't do it. And you'll understand why in a few minutes. Secondarily to that, the buses. I've been in these provincial buses. Some of them are fine. Some. Many of them, it's a crazy ride sometimes. But Filipinos, that's what they're used to. The jeepneys. You know, there's a reason that they look all beat up. It's not just because they're old. It's because they're beat all to hell because, quite frankly, they're so aggressive. They will cut you off in a heartbeat. Now, I want you to also understand something, and this is important. The drivers in those buses, jeepneys, trikes, UV, vans, private vans, PUVs, they don't own them. They're contracted out to work for them. And we know, and you know, many of you that are watching this know, those guys don't have a real driver's license. Many of those things are not insured. And they are lacking when it comes to inspection or real inspections. But let's just take a look at what exactly has been seen, what we're seeing in the news. Okay. 84 PUV drivers test positive for drug use. So Holy Week, they decided to do a surprise inspection. The drug tests were held April 16th. Under Aplan Harab bus, covered major land transportation terminals across the country. The LTFRB said that of the 3,270 individuals tested, 84 public utility drivers and 2 conductors yielded positive results. Now, they broke that down a little bit more. Among those who tested positive were 13 bus drivers, 1 minibus driver, 19 jeepney drivers, 47 trike drivers, 1 taxi driver, and 2 motorcycle taxi drivers. Remember, here in the Philippines, just like you can call a cab, you can call a motorcycle in many different places, a scooter, and they'll take you to where you're going. So the conductors also tested positive. 2 conductors tested positive for illegal drug use. Now, the LTO says it's unacceptable. And sure, it is unacceptable and it's troubling because these people are on the road. All right. The bus companies are going to be required to explain why no sanctions should be imposed upon them for employing drivers who pose a clear risk. Remember, it's like I said, these people employ, they're not the owners. Who's going to happen? And what about the franchise? I mean, there are franchises that own 10 or 15 Jeepneys, but the guy driving the Jeepney isn't part of it. So that's the first issue. How about the second one? The government strikes back at Camote drivers, suspends the license of 671 motorists, and summons 1,165 car owners. This is part 2 of the 3 things I want to tell you about. So here we go through here. All right. And the agency is now preparing a total of 1,165. Let's see if we can do this here. 1,165 show cause orders against vehicle owners who failed to properly maintain vehicles. And this is what I'm talking about. I mean, it's obvious. If you have been here, if you're going to come here, you're going to see that many of these vehicles can't possibly be roadworthy. We see it all the time. Brake lights that don't work, turn signals that don't work, all right? Emissions that don't work, all kinds of different things. Rebonded tires. What do they call the retreads? All right, that are falling apart. Tires that are completely bald. And who knows what else. All right, so of the 671 suspended licenses, 547 of them were related to road accidents, which belong in a PUV, and who tested positive during random and surprise drug tests. Okay, now I want you to remember this, because this is going to be at the end. We're going to show you what the Filipinos have to say about it. But he says, we never really reached the level before, but we will work double time on this as our secretary, working double time. They're going to work double time to get to the bottom of it. But that's what's going on with these drivers. These drivers are working excessive amounts of hours, and they're saying that's why they take drugs. They take these drugs in order to make a living. And you can't, on the one hand, you have to be very cautious. These people are getting paid a pittance with your life. And so they're having to work excessive hours. Okay? And so they're taking drugs to do it. Now, they only tested 3,270 PUV drivers. There are tens of thousands of them out there, maybe even hundreds. I mean, with time you count the motorcycles, the Jeepneys, the Trikes, the buses, all right? They are everywhere, okay? And they only got to 3,200, and it was one. And it's not like they were out on the road. They were at the terminals doing these things, okay? So they're at the terminal. That means that, it only takes a couple of guys on the phone to let everybody know. Now, let's see if we can do this the right way this time. Okay? So, this was the next interesting part. This was, again, part of part 2 here. The owners of over 1,000 vehicles have to show orders to the LTO for failing its roadworthiness inspection. In other words, of the 3,200 vehicles that were tested, 1,100 were not roadworthy. no inspection, failed inspection, improper equipment, whatever. Who knows? They didn't go into detail. All right. But 1,165 vehicles failed the inspection. So now where do we go with this? Well, here's the deal. I am not going to put this up because I live here in the Philippines and I have to be very cautious about what I say and how I say it. But the LTO Facebook page posted a lot of information. And in that information, people made comments. And the comments were overwhelming. So many of them saying, oh, these men are not, or these people are not drug addicts. They're only doing this because they have to work these long hours. Sometimes they work two days without sleep. Well, shit, I don't want to be on that bus at midnight going from Manila to Cavite or from Butuan to Surigao, and that guy hasn't slept in 20 some odd hours or hasn't had any time off. I don't want to be with a trike driver at midnight that hasn't, had any rest since 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to be in those things. There are better options, people. There are many options. Sometimes you're stuck with what you're stuck with. And let me also say this. There are areas that are very strict. There are areas that do a great job of making sure things are the way they're supposed to be. But it's your life we're talking about here. It's your family's life possibly on that bus. It's your children's life possibly in that trike. I've turned trikes down before. We've lived down the street from this trike line for over 4 years. This particular trike line. They know me. They know that when I'm outside of our condo and I signal I want a trike, don't send me a trike that doesn't have a front window. I won't get in it. And I won't get in it because I want to see it before it kills me. All right? I can't stop it, but maybe I can prepare for it. Whatever. So many of these trikes are missing their front windows. Their front windows are covered. They're this, they're that. And you know why? They're missing because their 2025 permit is supposed to be displayed up there. Their 2024 permit is supposed to be displayed up there. Nobody enforces that crap. Nobody does. All right? I won't get in one. I want to see who we're going to rear end maybe in advance. And it happens all the time. Arlene and I bought our SUV, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. We bought it. And sure, lo and behold, on the way home, we were rear-ended. Now, it was very minor. It was nothing to it. I didn't even leave a scuff mark. The guy that did it, he was with a younger guy. I would say younger when I say younger, mid-20s, with his mom. And he didn't have insurance. He didn't have anything. And I just let him go. I just said, not worth calling anybody about this. There's no damage here. No problem. I was upset. It's a brand new vehicle. Okay. But nothing is unusual. I've been in trikes that have rear-ended people and they just keep going. It's just a bump and a grind. CJ's been run off the road. Half the bloggers, many of the bloggers, not half, many that have their own vehicles have been run off the road by PUVs. All right. And PUVs encompasses buses, jeepneys, everything that goes along with it. Your experience here in the Philippines, do you ride in the jeepneys? Many people do, and they feel comfortable with it. Do you ride the buses? Many people do, and they're very comfortable with it. Arlen does. Arlen will take a bus. I will rent a van, all right, a private van when we go to Surigao to take us on to Kitchenerau. Arlen, she'll get in a multivan. She'll get in a bus. I just won't do it. I don't like it. I don't know. Call it what it is. Maybe it's an arrogance issue. I don't think so. I think it's self-preservation personally, but it is what it is. You'll get vloggers and expats that live in the province full time and they have a high level of confidence in it. Great. I'm glad you do. I'm happy for you. I do not. We see it every day. We see it all the time. This proves it. Drug use, failed equipment. When is it going to get fixed? How is it going to get fixed? What are your thoughts about it? Tell us what you think. Thanks so much. Have a great day.